Everyone, good afternoon. Welcome to our Freedom Friday Recovery Support Group. My name is Craig, and it's always my pleasure to bring you some very important material dealing with recovery. Talking about mental health, substance abuse, things of that nature. So today I'm going to bring an article by RenaissanceRecovery.com. If you like, later on at your own leisure, you can always go online and check us and retrieve this article. Renaissance Care Recovery, RenaissanceRecovery.com. That's it. RenaissanceRecovery.com. And so also I have with me a young man by the name what's your name?
Clay.
Clay, that's right. We got Clay. He's sitting in and he's going to listen as I present this material. Without further ado, let's get right into it. So today's title is How to Identify Your Negative Core Beliefs. This is our Friday support group meeting. Once again, the title is How to Identify Your Negative Core Beliefs. Right? So the article says, addiction is often rooted in negative core beliefs we have about ourselves that we acquire from traumatic episodes in childhood. Now, when you start talking about a core belief, we're really going down to the root cause of why people choose to get into alcohol abuse, drug abuse, and a lot of underlying factors that is associated with addiction, right? So the article continues to say, a part of overcoming addiction is examining how a person adapted their behavior as a response to trauma during childhood. So a lot of times, people who don't have good coping skills or good role models or good examples to emulate, sometimes we use drugs or alcohol to mask the way we're feeling or the way we're thinking, all right? Dealing with uneasiness, all right? So it says cognitive behavior therapy is a talking therapy that was specifically developed to assist people to reframe traumatic experiences and learn healthier coping strategies. This form of psychotherapy is evidence-based, which means it is clinically proven to successfully treat a range of psychological disorders such as CBT improves a person's self-esteem by transforming their negative core beliefs about themselves. All right, let's get into one of the topic of discussion of today. Cognitive behavior therapy to improve core belief. Now, Mr. Clay, this material that I'm reading is really about how we think and how we perceive things. So basically what we're reading today is dealing with being able to identify negative thoughts and turning them around with positive thought, replacing negative thoughts with positive thought, okay? Yeah. All right, so it says, cognitive behavior therapy to improve core beliefs. Cognitive behavior therapy works on the premise that what we do and think impacts how we feel, okay? Yeah. If we feel anxious, sad, or depressed all the time, we can change these feelings by reprogramming how we think and what we do. What we think and do is largely governed by beliefs that sit in the back of our minds. If these beliefs are positive, we think good thoughts about ourselves. To live a positive, fruitful, and productive life, we need to have our thoughts, feelings, and behaviors positively influence each other. Thoughts can influence feelings, and feelings can influence thoughts. Equally, behavior can influence thoughts and feelings, all right? Behaviors. We're working on our behavior. learning how to respond adequately and appropriately. All right? So, for instance, a woman who has eaten a whole pack of biscuits while sitting on the couch is feeling depressed. Now, this woman, she is depressed. She cooked a whole pack of biscuits. She probably saying to herself or thinking, I know I shouldn't eat all of these biscuits, but I'm gonna just try to eat maybe 2 or 3. Then she wind up, what the article said, she ate all the biscuits. Now she feeling some type of way. She's depressed. Now stomach, she's, I know I should be on a diet, but they were so good. They had butter on it, put a little jelly on it. They were warm, and so she probably was uncontrollable thoughts, right?
Yeah.
So that goes to say, if we don't monitor our thoughts, our feelings, then our behaviors may end up spiraling out of control.
Yeah.
Make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. You want to say something?
She put herself in the dumpster. Well, that's what I say.
That's my man. Clay, what you say? She put herself in the dumpster, huh?
That's true.
Yeah. We laughing, but it is so true. We can put ourselves in a dumpster, and so the way she's feeling, the article says she's feeling depressed. So we can actually be feeling like trash.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So we put ourselves in the dumpster. Clay said, and I like that. Thank you for sharing. I like that. So it says, if she got up and went for a walk or a run, she will feel better about herself. She will feel less guilt, and she will boost her mood. Right? So she got up and dusted herself off. She feel a little better, right?
Yeah.
Absolutely. So that is so important. I'm glad you gave me that insight. She put herself into a dumpster. All right, and so we were talking about cognitive behavior therapy to improve core beliefs. That's what we're talking about. Next topic of discussion is, what are core beliefs? I'm glad you asked. In cognitive behavioral therapy and all forms of psychotherapy, you will hear the term core belief. We all have core beliefs about ourselves. They are what we believe about ourselves subconsciously. These beliefs determine the direction of our internal dialogue, thoughts, and beliefs. You ever notice the self-talk? I learned when I was in the therapeutic community and we went over core belief. That was something what we call the self-talk that we have within ourselves. If I wake up in the morning and I say to myself, or I'm thinking to myself that today's gonna be a bad day, and I do that consistently and constantly, day in and day out, then that's gonna be my belief system.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
But go ahead.
So don't make yourself a bad day.
Don't make yourself a bad day.
Yeah. That's that person that's doing.
It's making itself a bad day.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Right. So if I wake up and I change that thought and I say, you know what? Yesterday was probably a bad day, but today it's gonna be a good day.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, a good day.
Right. Just like me and you were just talking about, I asked you a question, Mr. Clay. I says, do you ever open the blinds in your house?
Yeah.
And you said, yeah.
When it's hard.
You're right. And so you said, when it's warmer. Then we went on further, and I said, a lot of times I said for me, so I like to keep the focus on me. I said, if I'm in a dark room, feel like I am confined. So I said, but when I open up and let this natural light in,
Yeah.
I feel like I'm free as a bird, absolutely. So you're right with me. I'm glad you're still with me. All right, so we're still talking about what are core beliefs. The article goes on to say these deep-seated beliefs sit in the back of your mind. When an event happens in your life, your mind consorts with certain beliefs that will keep you safe and protect you. These are beliefs that you acquired during childhood and adolescence. Often these beliefs are untrue, but because you believe them, you behave in a way that confirms them. And Clay touched on it. You know, you make yourself have a bad day and you continue to think bad.
Sure.
That's right. So, in a way, core belief acts as a filter to your everyday thoughts. These beliefs are so convincing and deep rooted, it's difficult to change them. Core beliefs are extremely powerful. They decide whether you perceive yourself to be loved, competent, powerful, safe, and worthy. If you have negative core belief, you won't be living your life to your full potential, and you are at a higher risk of substance or alcohol use disorder or behavior addictions. If you're addicted to substances or alcohol, you will probably have some very deep negative core beliefs as you have to contend with social judgment daily. Right? So a lot of times when we face, if we're on drugs or alcohol, when a situation arrives, we may view that situation in a very negative light because when we talk about being under the influence of alcohol and drugs, it says that it's a mind altering substance. And so it changes your natural way of thinking into a distorted way of thinking. That's why it says people that's on drugs and alcohol or on, who are in active addiction, they are cunning, baffling, and manipulative. You ever heard that? You know, people may say, hey man, a person that may be, not all everybody, but let's say a person who's really, for years been using drugs and alcohol, but they have addictive behaviors, right? And I might say, let's say me, I've been on drugs for 20 years, right? Alcohol and drugs, I'm on both of them, heavily in my active addiction. And I don't work nowhere, I don't have a job, I don't have no money. And I come to you, I said, Mr. Clay, man, let me get $20, man. I'll pay you back Wednesday.
I might not have it either, though.
You might not have it either.
Yeah.
But if you have it, all right,
Yeah.
okay, you might be trustworthy and say, okay, Craig, I want my money back. You say you're gonna pay me my money back.
Right.
And I said, yeah, yeah. Knowing good and well, I don't have the intent to pay you your money back.
Yeah.
See, that's what they call distorted thinking. You know, when you have these thoughts under the influence of alcohol and drugs,
Yeah.
you know, you're very manipulative, cunning, and baffling,
Yeah.
right? So, not to say that everybody, a lot of times we want the best for people. And so if I know somebody that's really on drugs and that they're struggling with their addiction, I may question, what do you want the $20 for? You might say, man, go give me something to eat, man. Right? Most people you see at the store, panhandling, want something. They say, oh, you got $5 for something to eat? So instead of giving them the $5, they right there in front of the store.
Yeah.
Do what?
Go and get your order and I knew it.
There you go. Go and get your order and I'll give it to you.
I'm not giving no $5.
There you go. Absolutely. So there's alternative. So that's what you take a negative situation and turn it into a positive one.
Also, Also, for me anyway.
Yeah, absolutely. You save you the headache of worrying about you're gonna never get to $20 back,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Absolutely. All right, let's move on. So it says if you have negative core belief, you won't be living your life to your full potential, and you are at a higher risk of substance or alcohol use disorder or behavior addiction. If you're addicted to substance or alcohol, you would probably have some very deep negative core beliefs as you have to contend with social judgment daily, right? And so you may not handle social judgment situation accordingly. Cognitive behavior therapy gets you to step back to see your thoughts in a more objective and realistic light. So basically, it's saying when you utilize cognitive behavior therapy, you begin to pause, think about it, make an assessment. What am I thinking? How am I feeling? And if I'm able to identify how I'm thinking, my thought process and the way I'm feeling, and I identify as depressive or fearful, then I might want to say, let me just wait and see how can I change the outcome by doing something that will bring me joy or satisfaction, right? And so it says, uh, it takes some work, but if you work hard enough at it, one day you'll have a kind of epiphany where you realize that the thoughts that you have been holding you back were untrue, And so it's like more like a mind power to be able to say to yourself, the self-talk, I am a good person. I am a kind person. I am a loving person. Sometimes we may grow up in an environment where people have told us negative things about ourselves. You'll never grow up to be nothing. You're just like your father. Things like that. And if we allow those thoughts to uh, take take root in our thought process, we may begin to self-reflect that in our behavior. And so if someone tells me, say, you know what, you'll never grow up to be something. If someone told me that at childhood or adolescence, say, you know what, you'll never be nothing. You're just like your father. I have the ability to say, no, I am going to be someone important. No, I'm not like my father. I'm going to be greater than my father. And so, especially if my father was a person who exhibit bad behaviors, and if I want to be better than what people projected on me, I would say, well, you know what? I'm gonna rise above what people may think, and I'm going to prove to myself. It's a lot of times it's about not so much proving to other people, it's about proving to yourself. Accepting challenges. Accepting challenges is very, sometimes they say challenge or change and challenges can be very hard and difficult for people. And that's true. But if you are a person who says, you know what, I'm gonna keep trying at it until I figure it out. And if I can't figure it out, you ever ask for help and not be ashamed to ask for help?
No.
You never asked for help and was not ashamed?
That order, I have asked for help,
Because
knowing that I could help myself.
okay, right. So if you can help yourself, that's different. But if you find yourself having a difficulty of accomplishing a task, and you know that it's very challenging, and that you know someone over here that may be able to
I'll ask them for help.
Would you, so, would you be ashamed to ask for help?
No, I'm not.
Absolutely, absolutely.
I'll ask you for help because I know he can help the person.
Absolutely, absolutely. So it's always, good to be able to know that you can change an outcome from being a negative one to a positive one. Now we're talking about drugs and alcohol. Let's keep that as the core of topic of discussion. And so, if I'm struggling with an addiction, whether it's drugs or alcohol, and someone is offering me help, and I know I need the help,
I'll accept his help.
you accept the help. But if I'm not ready to change, I may not want nobody help.
Right.
Right.
Wouldn't change.
You won't change. So it's about the thought process of you being able to say to yourself, well, I don't want to be on drugs. I don't want to be unemployed. I don't want to be homeless. Right? I don't want to not have food to eat
Right.
or money to get the food.
Right.
I don't want to be able to go out and do a criminal act.
Right.
Right?
Right.
So that's what it is, core belief, changing the way we think and utilizing our thought process from a negative to a positive. You agree?
Right.
All right, cool. All right, let's move on. It says everyone can benefit from digging out their negative core belief as they control our thoughts, decisions, and behaviors. If you're struggling with a substance use disorder, improving your self-esteem and building emotional resilience is key to maintaining a prolonged recovery. Knowing what your core beliefs are is an important step in the journey to emotional healing. All right? And so how do you identify and remove those beliefs that are holding you back? Good question. How do you identify and remove those beliefs that are holding us back? How do we do that? All right, let's see what the article said in order to do that. So it says how to identify core belief. It says to work out your core belief, you need to reflect regularly on your thinking and identify common themes from top up. It can be tricky to identify them accurately, so it takes some serious reflection and honesty. The best way to pinpoint core belief is to use a thought record. A thought record. That's good. Let's see what the article says about a thought record. Mr. Clay, it says the problem with identifying negative core beliefs is that our thoughts happen rapidly and automatically, so we can often miss the fact we had the thought. We don't realize that we are having these negative thoughts. You ever heard of fleeting thoughts? Fleeting thoughts and ideas. If you don't document fleeting thoughts and ideas, especially when it's pertinent to change in one's condition, if you don't record it, you may say to yourself, "Oh, I'll do it later." Keep putting it off.
Yeah.
Oh, I'll get around to it. Before you know, 3 days don't pass by.
Yeah.
A week don't pass. Like cutting the lawn, or grass. Even though we're talking about addiction and changing behaviors, but that's a behavior as well. Procrastination. That's what we call a behavior. Putting things off tomorrow, what you can do today, right?
Yeah.
Now you could have said when I call you, or when your sister-in-law and I call you, you could have said, "No, I'm not going to the recovery support group." But you said, "Yeah, I'll come." You come to get me? I said, sure, right?
Yeah.
You didn't procrastinate. You didn't say, none of that. You said, okay, I'll come. Right? So that's the behavior. It said using a thought record can help to train you to spot the negative thoughts as they happen. Once you manage to capture some negative thoughts, you can then move on to the challenging stage. Once you practice challenging your thoughts for a while, thinking more positively will come naturally. But it takes commitment and dedication. Let me read that again. Once you practice challenging your thoughts for a while, thinking more positively will come naturally. But it takes commitment and dedication. I like that because I see myself taking on a new task, and sometimes when you take on, say, like mechanics, like say if I was fixing a bicycle, I'm gonna use a bicycle as an illustration of a project. Say if I took on a project of fixing a bicycle, and I'm able to put the tire on by myself, I'm able to put the handlebars on by myself, right? I may be able to put the seat on by myself. But when it comes down to putting the guts, you know, the wheel bearings and the bracket, I may run into a little snag, right? And so that can be a challenge. So I must be able to say, you know what, I'm going to keep trying to figure this thing out. You know, do I do it this way or do I got the right tools? But that comes with what this article said: commitment and dedication. I keep working at it. Eventually, I know how to put the guts in. I know how to put the brackets in. Man, I got a whole bike put together. I know how to do it now, right? And so I don't know why a bicycle came to me as an illustration, but that was one of the things when we're talking about commitment and dedication.
Right.
You know, you ever heard that saying? If you fall off a bike, don't worry about it. Pick yourself back up. Keep trying until you learn.
Right.
You know, when you was little, you want to learn how to ride a bike so bad, right? And you fall, boom. I had an older brother. I got an older brother, and he was willing to work with me until I eventually learned how to ride that bike. I was determined.
I know that ride a bike. Yeah, so
The day you started,
yeah,
you talking about a tricycle. I'm talking about a bike.
bike.
Okay, all right then. If you say so.
I don't tell you about it. Soon I saw it because I wanted to ride a bike. So I rode.
Just start rolling.
I didn't fall. I didn't fall.
You ain't fall?
I seen a lot of people fall though.
Absolutely. You ain't got. Now, some people start off with tricycle, then training wheels,
Yeah.
right? I started with tricycle, training wheel. Not you though. See, you very unique, man. You the first person I know who said, man, I got it on the first try. Wow. Not saying that it's not impossible. I'm saying you're the first person I met.
Yeah, me too. I thought honestly so. I saw the bike. I wanted to ride it. You know?
You
I didn't fall.
didn't fall, but you were determined to ride that bike.
Yeah.
See, that's what I'm saying. So when we put our mind to something and we determine and we are focused to accomplish a task, we're able to do it.
Yeah.
See what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you for sharing that. Thank you for sharing that. And so that's going to be it for this week. And so please join us next Friday for our Freedom Friday Recovery Support Group. It's always going to be some interesting information, and hopefully we could be able to share more enlightening information dealing with CBT, cognitive behavioral therapy. All right, and so until the next time, I'm Craig.
Play bars.
Play forward. All right, until then, have a good day.